Winter's here, and as such, I thought it'd only be appropriate to review a winter fragrance, and my pick for this season is Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Mal Le Parfum. Now, while a lot of people only care about the smell of a fragrance, I'd like to talk about something different for Jean-Paul Gaultier in general, which is their packaging. I am a big fan of their packaging because while other companies usually go for boxes, Jean-Paul Gaultier goes for this signature can style. And in my opinion, it actually looks really cool. I also like that when you open the can, you get this sort of experience where basically the bottle is revealed to you, and it has this velvet, let's see if I can get it in focus, velvet base that holds the fragrance in place, which makes it look nice. Moving on to the bottle itself is of course the male body shape, which Jean-Paul Gaultier does with almost all their fragrance lines. And first, I just like to point out that I actually really like the mechanism that they used to stop the sprayer from randomly spraying, which is this little ring that kind of acts as an accessory, which to make sure that the perfume works, you remove it and that's when it can spray. Now, I'd like to go back to this because it's actually a pretty cool little thing. If you have a fragrance collection, it's actually really nice because it gives you a little bit of extra confidence that your fragrance isn't going to move around when it's on a table, which is another nice detail that I don't think it was intended for, but it's great. Now, for the sizes of Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Mal Le Parfum, it comes in 3 different sizes, which is 2.5 at $110, I believe 4.2 at $142, and 6.8, which is the one that I have, at around $180. Now, to talk about the notes that this fragrance has, it's lavender, cardamom, iris, and vanilla. And the first thing that you realize when you smell it is the cardamom and vanilla. It's kind of the thing that is the strongest in the fragrance, and so you get this very, very sweet smell, which honestly I love. But it also has this warm smell, which again I will attribute to the cardamom. For the other notes, lavender and iris, I personally don't notice it too much, but I'm sure that it blends in together to create the amazing smell that I think Le Mal Le Parfum is. To add on the website, it does say that this includes oriental notes, which is just a fancy way of saying they used other materials that are considered luxurious. On the website, it does also say that this fragrance has woody notes as well as oriental notes. There's nothing specific that I can think of when I smell it, although I will say that I do get that amber smell that I've gotten from other fragrances. Now, if I were to describe the smell, I would say it's a very dark and sweet smell that is also very warm. I'd say that the smell is embracing, which is really nice because it is one of the very few sweet fragrances that I've smelled that you kind of feel a warmth but also a sweetness too. I think the warmth comes from the cardamom, which is very nice. Another thing is that while it also has all those things, it's still a very masculine fragrance. Now, what I find is that some sweet fragrances tend to be masculine, but when I ask myself, could I picture someone of the opposite gender using this? The answer most of the time is yes. In my opinion, when I think of this fragrance, I actually don't see that. I don't see this as a fragrance that a woman could wear. Now, you could disagree with me, and that's okay, but that's just my personal opinion, which is another plus because, again, like I said, I actually really like that it stays in that masculine space while still being sweet and warm and all of those other things that I said before. Because it meets those criteria of sweet, warm, embracing, nostalgic, and masculine, this has become one of my favorite fragrances of all time. You see, a lot of fragrances will meet a lot of these criterias, but they won't have all of them. They'll lack either the masculinity or they'll lack a nostalgic element, which, in my opinion, this nailed all of those criteria. Another thing that I saw with other Le Mans de Parfum users is they said that the fragrance would often last around 6 to 8 hours. I find that for me, it lasts around 8 to 12 hours. The strength is actually really nice because I do find that it's, again, not too strong, which means I can spray about 4 times and I won't feel like I can't breathe. So that's also pretty nice. It's one of the very few sweet fragrances that I own that doesn't give me a headache sometimes, because I will get headaches from others. Now, another great thing about this fragrance is the sillage. I find that it goes for around 4 to 8 feet. For those who don't know, sillage is the scent trail that a fragrance leaves behind. So it means that whoever's behind you can smell it. Now, for this one, it's around 4 to 8 feet. That's the distance that I've seen people actually react to the smell and either approach or compliment, which is pretty nice. So here are the final remarks that I would like to make. I think that Le Mans de Parfum is an amazing fragrance. It has an amazing smell, and if you go for pricing, I think that Jean-Paul Gaultier actually nails the pricing for Le Mans de Parfum, which is also very nice. I think this is a great fragrance for anybody who's starting to get into fragrances and wants something for the winter. I think that if you want something a little bit stronger that shares a similar profile, Jean-Paul Gaultier also has the elixir version of this, which some people prefer over this. I personally don't. I often find myself choosing this over some of my higher end fragrances because I find that this is a more palatable smell, and it's the reason why it's become one of my favorite fragrances. I think this is a 10 out of 10 fragrance in my opinion. It is one of my favorite fragrances. I would love if some of you go out to your local retailers that sell fragrances and actually try and smell it, and then if you do buy it, please tell me how you feel about it, or if you do get to smell it, share what you think about it. Don't blind buy, no matter how good a review is, because you never know if you're actually going to like it. So that is all for this video. If you liked it, comment, subscribe, hit the like button, and I would love to hear your opinion on Le Mans de Parfum if you already own it or if you do get to smell it. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.